We had a nice chat on the way into the toilets.
We did, yeah. Not for the first time.
Not for the first time. And we were both at half-time pretty confident Liverpool were going to find their way through to victory, and it is only 30 seconds in the end away from getting that victory. But they don't play very well second half, is what I would say. I felt like the first half had almost gone to plan. You got in at half-time, it was level. You felt like you're taking a few blows, it's the way it's going to be. And you thought second half you'd see them push away, and it just never quite comes.
No, it doesn't, and it is how I felt. You know, genuinely I thought, well, they'll blow themselves out these. They're putting the shift in, fair enough. But they're not ahead of us, and that's where they need to be if they're going to win this game. And based on what we've been doing this season, controlling the game and the quality of the players, I just didn't think they were doing anything that was bothering us too much.
Yeah.
And I just thought that we would go on, and then when we, and then fair play to Everton for coming out and again going for it, and putting us on the back foot at times, and we just didn't get to the point where we were in control of the game.
Yeah.
And talking on a show, before the game, it was about Liverpool making a great start. Wasn't necessarily about going 3-0 up. It's about Liverpool controlling the ball, controlling the game, and the game being on their terms. And he didn't quite get there all night, if the truth be told, and if you're honest about it. And so, in the end, we end up with what was, maybe controversial, but I'm not going to argue it was a fair result.
I think it is a fair result. I think all the way through the season, Mo, I think the good thing about this Liverpool team is it's felt like they've got what they deserve.
Yeah.
And that's why they are where they are. They've been the best team in the country, they're 7 points clear. I think they deserve that from everything that we've seen from them and from everyone else. But the flip side of that is, I think, last night against Everton, they get what they deserve.
Yeah.
And we've got a cop for that. That's the beginning, middle and end of the matter, no matter what was on the clock, no matter which way it goes. And even no matter how bad the referee was, we've still got a cop for the fact that ultimately they got what they deserved.
Yeah. They did.
The best teams do.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the worst team also drew as well. That's the problem. But you don't really know which is which. But yeah, you're right. I think you can look back on some of the other games we've drawn this season. I think like Fulham, I think Arsenal, Newcastle, and there's like hard luck stories and little bits of there and little moments where you'd have it back. But ultimately, over the course of the 90 minutes, in those games, we didn't do enough to win. But I say once again, they haven't been beaten.
Yeah.
This team has only been beaten in the league one time. They're unbeaten away from home. And if we still say that in 8 days' time, I think we'd all be very, very confident that we're going to go on and get the job done.
Yeah, good point.
I think that with it, Kev, you were just sort of, I'll say again, for me it was about kicking on. I think all 4 goals in the game are a bit funny. They all feel like they come from nowhere. Yeah. Their opener from the sort of the quickly taken set piece, getting the run-ons. Then our equaliser, really, it's not like there's tons and tons of pressure. I wasn't even clear he'd scored it, frankly. Then, our one to go 2-1, it's our first shot of the second half. Then it's our second shot of the second half off the deflection, and then it's in the back of the net. And then their equaliser, again, it wasn't like they'd been absolutely kicking the door down all the way through injury time. It was just, it's a mad that game almost ends up with 4 goals. There wasn't enough goal line action, you'd have thought goal mouth action to justify it. But that's where it is, and I think each of those goals almost came a bit too easy for Liverpool. They never had to work for them.
Yeah, I think we've probably seen that same derby play out a number of times in the last 10, 12 years, and it's 0-0. It seems the derby ends 0-0 every year at Goodison, doesn't it? We hardly ever seem to get many goals there at all. And yesterday was that type of game, scrappy, very centralised in terms of where it was played on the pitch. There wasn't much going on in the 2 final thirds. And yeah, that you said about we didn't really have to work hard enough for that second goal. And we didn't, but then it felt, obviously in the ground, it feels like it's 2 minutes from that goal to the end of the game, doesn't it? But in reality, it's 15 minutes of football left to play there, and we've basically done it. We've nearly got there, and we're all having totally different conversations, even with ourselves, if we've got the 3 points. Yeah.
But you're saying it was dead professional, they saw them off, they kept them at arm's length. That's what you are saying. If that final whistle goes 30 seconds earlier in playing time, that's what we're all saying today. That's what we're sat around this table and doing.